Hi everyone, Kate Byars, founder of Corporate Women Unleashed, where we help high-achieving corporate women achieve work-life balance without giving up their successful career. On today's video, I want to share with you the secret to happiness. Now, I hear this a lot. Hey, Kate, I have a successful career, a great marriage, and fantastic kids, yet I'm not happy. What's wrong with me? I should be the happiest I've ever been in my life. Can you relate? I used to feel that way too. In fact, at one point, I remember telling my therapist, my life is perfect in every way, but it's like it's in gray. It's just not in color. Why is it not in color? How do I get it to look like that? So look, let me ask you, do you watch your kids bounce off to school? They're playing happily with their friends and you wish, oh, I just wish I was a kid again. Or do you see your husband relaxing with his favorite book, goofing off on the computer, he gets to be the fun dad, and he never skips a workout, and you're wondering, how can he be so balanced while your life feels so out of control? Or do you witness other working moms who somehow have it all together? They're leading these organized lives, they get the kids, holiday cards pushed together, and they've always got the class project, and you're barely able to find a pair of matching shoes in the morning. And you find yourself crying more often than you'd like to admit and wonder why you're not the happiest you've ever been. Well, if that's the case, you are not alone. It is not uncommon for highly successful women who command highly respected careers to feel alone, disconnected, and unhappy. While everyone else in their life seems just fine. And well-meaning friends and family, even your boss will tell you, just relax. Slow down. You're going to burn out, they'll tell you. So what's a high achiever, that type A workaholic girl supposed to do? How do you do that, right? Now look, the highly successful women I've seen make a shift from emptiness to happiness have all had the brilliance to embrace these three things. Let me share that with you. First of all, autonomy. A happy life is a life by design, right? It's creating success on your terms. And this requires a new approach to your highly successful career. I mean, when you graduated college, that was kind of success on your terms, right? You graduated college, you chose a profession, you networked, you sent your resume out, you went out into the world and found a job. And it was incredibly empowering. But at this point in your life, you may still be on autopilot and you haven't really thought about, how do I navigate my career to not just make more money or get the next promotion, but to really be a career of my own design, where I'm living the life that I love along with having a career that I love? Does that make sense? That's freedom. That's autonomy. That brings happiness. Okay, 2, purpose. Working for a paycheck is fine at age 22, right? But it's not enough once you've climbed the ladder. There's not a woman that I have spoken with who's in her mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s, who is looking for purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? What is this all for? It's making a difference and having an impact with the work you do. And it's leaving your footprint on the world, on your children, being a role model and showing what's possible, right? And without purpose, without feeling like what we do, the reason we get out of bed every day matters, that doesn't lead to happiness. It leads to emptiness. And then 3rd, abundance. Ironically, highly successful women cling to their checkbook. This is absolutely fascinating. I cannot tell you how many women we work with who are making, extremely, extremely high, 6-figure salaries and are just committed to not having credit card debt. If they don't have cash in their pocket, they won't spend it. Getting them to invest or just see the world as something that, is abundant is very difficult. There's such fear once we've created a successful income that we're going to lose it. When's the other shoe going to drop? When is someone going to notice and take it away? And if you're living in fear, you can't relax. You can't enjoy the money you make. You can't spend the money you've made and create joy in your life and thrive. Living in fear of losing what you've got is not freedom. It's not joyful. It's not happiness. A joyful life is living in abundance and recognizing you can create wealth anytime and anywhere. Look, if you are capable of creating the success you have now, while this would never happen, but you could lose it all tomorrow and you could recreate it. I mean, what are you really going to lose? And when I challenge women to think about that, they're like, I don't know. It just sounds so scary, right? And so it's just this fear. It's just this irony of fear that you've made it and someone's going to take it away. And living in fear is never going to be joyful. So what about you, right? Think about this. Are you living a life by design? Are you embracing your true purpose? Have you discovered what it is inside of you that's not just your passion, but your belief? And are you bringing that forth into the world through your work and through your life? And are you enjoying the abundance of the life you created? It's a critical shift in thinking and the resulting choices that will throw open the door of happiness and well-being for you. I absolutely promise. It's learning how to balance your needs, right? And removing these limiting thoughts and behaviors that have us clinging to the corporate ladder, and being confident that you can navigate your career as successful as you are with all the responsibility you have, with everything that's riding on you at work. You can still navigate that and go home at night and just be fun and just let loose and let your hair down, right? Wasn't it Irma Bombeck who always said, like, my one regret in life is I didn't roll down the car windows enough and let my hair blow in the breeze. You've got to do that and enjoy this bountiful life that you've created for yourself, for your family. So let me introduce you to one of our clients who I want you to get to know because I think she's very inspiring. Gina came to us in the middle of a burnout situation. She had basically been working 70, 80 hours a week as a vice president for lean growth and education. She also has a dual career in the military. And this isn't like once a year she goes away to do military duty. She's actively working in her military career every week. She was working anywhere from 2 to 4 nights a week after the kids went to bed. And then she's still traveling 1 weekend a month. She's the breadwinner. Her husband is a stay-at-home dad. So obviously all the pressure's on her to provide for her family. And she's the mom of 2 girls under age 6. And when Gina and I first spoke, she would laugh. She would tell me about what was going on, but it was like her laughter was brittle. Do you know what I mean? It was like forced. It was like she was just trying to keep her head above water and hold on to what was precious in her life. And she was absolutely drowning. So here's the great thing. We started working together, and within about probably her second week, I don't think it was even 2 weeks, probably 10 days, we helped her, really look at what was going on in her workload and reduce it from 80 hours a week to 50. I mean, just immediately she was able to design her career to start being more balanced and carefree, because part of what she was doing was working really, 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 really hard to keep her place at the table. And the other piece was she was doing some things that she really didn't need to be doing, either because she should have been delegating them or because she was working on things that her company didn't necessarily value and therefore didn't really need to be done. So once we taught her how to keep her eye on the ball and really focus on the things that brought the highest value, immediately she was able to reduce and give herself permission, if you will, to back away to a 50-hour work week. Leveraging that value piece that we helped her with and that inner purpose in the office also started helping her feel like her work mattered again, right? Like it wasn't just about going to work every day and slogging through. It was like, wait a minute, I am making a difference. I'm impacting my team and these other teams that I work with cross-functionally. And she started to really have some just really lightness of being, because she recognized that, she'd forgotten what her purpose was in this whole equation. And then the next thing I think that's really, so that's kind of creates that autonomy piece that we just talked about, right? Which is like, now all of a sudden Gina felt like I'm in control of my career again. And I think she even told us, towards the end of her time working together, she's like, Kate, I have professional hope for the first time in years, right? It was like her career was actually fun again. Now, the next piece is that Gina really learned to invest in herself. And again, this comes back to that whole abundance and scarcity. Now, Gina, like all of us, has stuff, right? Bills. She and her husband had just renovated this beautiful home. I mean, just like to the nines. She had been unemployed a couple years back, had a sort of like a gap between, one job and the next. So that was still sort of, like weighing on her to like recoup and rebuild savings. And she's got 2 little girls, and she's got, daycare and school expenses and college expenses and all this stuff, right? But the problem is if we don't invest in ourselves as women and we really learn to say, wait a minute, we can create as much wealth as we want. that we're not going to enjoy our life. And Gina was just at that point where it was just like, everything was for someone else and nothing was for her. So that was the other thing she really learned to do. And she invested in herself in two ways. One is monetarily, right? So she started investing in things that would really help her grow and bring her joy. But she also started investing more time in herself. She re-engaged her love of painting. Like, she's always been a painter. She started doing that again and creating that space. She learned how to really disconnect, right? Like, we taught her, like, this is how to disconnect when you walk through the door at 5 or 6 or 7, whatever time, and just be mom. Just be fun mom. And that's an investment in herself right there, but it's also an investment in her girls. And she started working out again. She started sleeping again. I mean, this was a woman who wasn't even sleeping when we first met. I mean, she was just tied up in knots. And I told her after the time that we worked together, after the 8 weeks, I was like, Gina, you're laughing again. Like, not brittle laughter, but like hearty laughter. She was smiling. She was wearing makeup. She was just beautiful and radiating joy. I mean, truly a balanced woman with a very successful career, tons of pressure, lots of results that she's responsible for. And yet she clocks out every day and she goes home and she hangs out with her kids, or she goes painting with her girlfriends, or she and her husband watch a movie or go on a date, right? Like, it's a well-rounded, balanced life. And I'm so proud of her and I'm so happy for her. And if she can do it, you can do it too. And that's why I wanted to share that story with you. Now, a lot of people will ask, Kate, what do you teach in Corporate Women Unleashed? And we teach women how to create work-life balance without giving up a highly successful career. The first thing we do is we teach women how to unplug. High achievers don't know how to disconnect. So we teach you how to unplug from work with confidence so you can be present and enjoy the simple moments you're currently missing. One of the big problems we have as high achievers is that even when we're not at work, we're still thinking about work. And even if we're on vacation, we're worried about work. And that's not enjoying your life. That's worrying about your life. And your kids, your husband, your friends, your family, they notice that, right? They notice when you're not really present. The next thing is balance. So creating balance isn't something you've been taught. So instead of running from one area of life to the next, just trying to fit it all in and do it all, we teach you how to elevate all those areas of life, which really brings you that calm, that peace, that well-being and success, where you think, wait a minute, now I am a successful mom. Now I am a successful wife. Now I am a successful career woman, and I'm successfully managing my health, my mental health, my sleep, and some fun things that I've lost along the way. That's what a successfully balanced life looks like, right? Next, recalibration, right? Success does not have to come at a cost. And if you believe that, you will always be stuck in, I can either have a successful career or I have to give it up to have a successful life. So we help you recalibrate that, and we show you how to change that thinking and learn new strategies so that you can confidently deliver high performance at work without sacrificing hours of personal time in the process. And once you start seeing and believing that success as well as balance are aligned and they go hand in hand, then it becomes so much simpler just to make it happen, right? And then third, coaching, right? Successfully creating work-life balance at this level, that's achieved through expert mentoring. So you get feedback on what you cannot see, and that way you quickly adjust and assimilate the thinking and behavior to get you exactly the results you want to see. I mean, the women we work with, they're very determined and they know exactly what they want. They're like, Kate, I want a balanced life. I do not want to give up my successful career, but I need to make these changes and I don't want to fail. I don't want to go backwards. So help me create this and make it sustainable. And that's what coaching does, right? So can you create work-life balance without giving up your successful career? Well, if you've built a successful career, then you can absolutely build a successfully balanced life. So now you have a choice. You can file this information away and stay stuck in excuses and that belief that, well, gosh, if I try to have balance, I'm going to have to somehow give up my identity, my success, my financial, paycheck. Or you can create a new version of success that is balanced and fulfilling without the burnout, without the stress, and without always having to be on. And now you can start enjoying your life. So here's what we have for you. We have set aside time to speak with you about your career in the next 48 hours and how you can create balance in your own life. What we'll do is on a 45-minute phone call, we'll identify what is really preventing you from enjoying a balanced life and then how you can recalibrate your career to create a calm, stress-free, and fun life all your own. and then get you a clear vision of the work-life balance you want and what's possible for you. Now, the cost is absolutely free, but there is a catch, okay? This is not for everyone. These calls are for women who are corporate high achievers or highly successful at what you do. You do not have to be in the C-suite, but you also can't be a brand new grad straight out of college, right? So you need to be someone who would describe yourself as someone who excels, someone who's a high achiever, someone who's in a high stress, highly successful environment. 2, you find it difficult to disconnect from work. I mean, that's a real, problem, and you are feeling the stress and burnout from years of pressure. 3, you're committed to reprioritizing your life without sacrificing your successful career. And you're excited about that possibility, right? Like, this is about up-leveling and truly having it all. And then 4th, you're not necessarily looking for a new job. Sometimes that's a piece of it, but what you're really looking for is how to create a balanced life within a powerful career. So if that is you, I want you to go and schedule a free breakthrough session at KathleenByars.com/session. Okay, it's KathleenByars.com/session. That will bounce you to our calendar. Pick a time that works for you. And then once you've selected a time, that will then take you to a short questionnaire. That's just some pre-call prep that'll help you and us be prepared so that when we come to that call, we can all hit the ground running and get you the clarity that you need. All right. So thank you so much, and I'll talk with you soon.